Star Citizen. I've been playing Star Citizen for a long time. I backed it on May 10th in 2015, way back when we were on patch 1.12. Back then, it was really just Arena Commander, which is the arcade-style component of the game where you can jump into a ship, fly it around in a limited play space, and shoot other ships. Arena Commander's gotten really good over the years, recently received a really big update, and has a lot of versatility now. You can do on-foot combat, space combat. They bring really fun game modes into it every now and then. You should definitely check it out if you haven't. It was that, and it was also a hangar simulator. You could walk around and look at your ship, get in it, and pretend you were doing something more impressive than pacing around a very strange and expensive garage. The Persistent Universe, or PU as we know it now, was still about 7 months away when I first backed the game. I backed Star Citizen because of the vision Chris Roberts shared in a video. He wanted to make the space game. And as someone who grew up obsessed with sci-fi, Star Wars, Dune, Star Trek, that vision really hit home. In 2015, I was watching The Next Generation almost daily and played nearly every single space-themed game I could have gotten my hands on from childhood, really. Dark Forces all the way through Battlefront 2, all the Mass Effect games, Dead Space, you name it. I've played a lot of space games. So when I heard someone pitch what sounded like Ultima Online in space, but with modern graphics, I was sold, because that's what it sounded like to me. Quick aside, this video is not a review. It's just my perspective on the game and how I feel about it. Maybe I might get a little introspective, a little rambly at times. I'll try to keep it on track, but I want you to understand where I'm coming from. If things go well and people enjoy this video and my ramblings, I would love to make more gaming content like this. So let me know if you like it. If you are looking for Star Citizen news, go watch Space Tomato or Salty Mike or one of the dozens of other content creators that are doing this. Those guys are professionals, and I am most certainly not. Now, a bit of backstory. One of the first online games that I ever played was Ultima Online, or UO. It was the original MMO. Long in the before times, much before World of Warcraft, before most games even had the concept of a persistent multiplayer world, UO existed. It was a different kind of animal. It had a real player-driven economy. There were miners, blacksmiths, tailors, animal tamers, warriors, wizards, alchemists. If you could imagine it in a fantasy setting, you could probably be it. And your time and effort in UO not only mattered, it was also vital to the world at large. What you chose to do shaped the world around you. I still have a very soft spot for that game in my heart. I've been chasing that feeling of playing UO for a very long time. I tried EVE Online, but despite several attempts, it never really clicked for me gameplay-wise. I guess I prefer my spreadsheets outside of my video games. For some reason, most MMOs never really clicked for me, or I was just too late to the party by the time I jumped on board. The closest I've gotten lately to recapturing that vibe is through Red M servers, the Red Dead Redemption 2 roleplay community. You join a server, you stay in character, and you live a life in the Old West. It's fun, dynamic, and the community makes it really special. But the economy in the server that I play in is 100% player-driven. I own a carpentry shop, and I make crates for other businesses, building materials for campsites, furniture for people's homes. It's really cool. I buy wood and sell it back to people in different ways. It's a really cool living economy. Every business interacts with another business in some interesting way, and it makes for a really engaging gameplay experience. But let's bring this back to Star Citizen. When I saw that original pitch video from Chris Roberts, where he steps out of that ship and starts explaining what he wants to build, it's like someone was finally describing my dream game.
I'd like to show you something I've been working on. But I don't want to build any old game. I want to build a universe. I want to build a game I always wanted to build, but I didn't have the tools to do until now. One that you can fly off a carrier fighting a heroic war on the front lines, but also one that you can muster out and find your own fortune in the stars wherever your spaceship takes you.
What he described here was a game where you could be anything or anyone you wanted to be. You could live in a breathing universe where your choices and actions actually mattered. And that's why I backed the game. I shelled out my $40, I got my starter ship, I downloaded Arena Commander, and I started flying. It was bare bones. You could dogfight against AI, you could walk around your hangar, but it was a start. Let's fast forward to 2017. patch 3.0. I was on tour with my band at the time, not gaming very much, so I stayed on the sidelines, but I would dip in every now and then to check out the universe, check out space stations, fly around. It was really cool. You could leave a space station and fly to a planet, and then there was nothing to do. So you'd fly back up to the space station. There was really not a lot to do in the game at the time. And in some ways, it kind of still feels the same. But in 2022, I started playing Star Citizen regularly with patch 3.17. And man, when I finally dove in, it felt like the game I had backed all those years ago was finally kind of becoming real. You wake up in the city, you take a train to a station, you hop in your ship, you fly to a moon, you meet up your friend who's setting up a mining operation, you start mining the rocks, transport all that to a trading hub and sell it. And it wasn't just mining. You could go be a bounty hunter, you could land on planets, you could go into bunkers, you could shoot bad guys, you could go salvage, you could strip the hulls off of ships. There's a lot of gameplay that they added to Star Citizen over time that is really engaging and really fun and really cool. But it felt like something was still missing. There has really never been a real progression path in Star Citizen. There's no engaging NPCs, no storylines, no skills, no crafting systems. For a futuristic sci-fi universe, even basic communication tools feel clunky. You can't even use VoIP in Star Citizen, or it's there, but it doesn't work most of the time. I don't really know. The party system is limited, and beyond mechanics, there's just really no reason to keep playing it. Once you've conquered the mountain of making money in Star Citizen, which is, not very hard to do, but once you make a bunch of money in Star Citizen, you buy all the ships you wanted to buy, there's really no reason to keep playing it. There's no progression path. There's nothing to gain. The persistent hangars don't even persist. Now at this point, I still hadn't started watching Star Citizen YouTube content creators yet, but the algorithm noticed that I was back in it, so I started seeing the videos. Videos from folks who'd followed the game for years started showing up, and the vibe that I got from it was people are frustrated, burned out, and angry. Meanwhile, I was still optimistic. I thought, okay, the game isn't there yet, but it's close, so any patch now, it'll all start coming together, right? Right? Hopefully? Maybe? But as I kept playing and making my fortune using the 3 or 4 gameplay loops that existed, I started to see the cracks. New patches were bringing more instability, bugs became more and more common, and CIG's focus seemed to shift more and more towards selling ships than fixing core issues. That's when I really started paying attention to content creators like Salty Mike. At first I thought he was just bitter, but eventually I started to agree with him. His criticisms weren't coming from hate, they were coming from disappointment, from people who wanted this game to succeed. So I stepped away. I kept tabs on things, watched videos from creators like Space Tomato, VoidyVids, and Ollie43, but I wasn't playing. I felt like I'd been burned one too many times. Then CitizenCon came to LA. I live in Los Angeles. I got really hyped all over again. I started paying attention to all the news, I started watching all the videos, and then I saw CitizenCon. They showed base building, they showed armor, they showed crafting, they showed server meshing, they showed Squadron 42 looking like it was pretty much done. They said it was feature complete. I got really excited about this. I rushed home, I downloaded the game again, I jumped back in. And yeah, it runs really good on my PC now. I have a really nice PC I built primarily just so it could run Star Citizen well, but there are core issues that persist, like laggy servers, buggy missions that don't finish, and a community chat that's often more toxic than helpful, which is disappointing because it used to be very, very helpful and people were very nice there. Now, on the flip side of things, they have made some pretty great improvements as well over time. They are updating the game regularly, and there are new things that are bringing a lot of quality of life features to the game. There's a mission giver now, Wicklow, and he's really cool. You can't interact with him yet or see his body or anything, but you do see a little hologram of him on your ship as you come into his emporium. There's a bunch of cool stuff at his locations to check out, but in a universe this big, one mission giver just doesn't feel like it's enough. It's a start, but to me it feels like it's not enough to get really excited about. And that's the weird tension that I have with Star Citizen. I really think I would love this game. I want it to succeed. But I also can't ignore how strange its development has been, and how somehow for more than a decade, all these people have been holding out for this game to fulfill this promise that Chris Roberts made all those years ago when he pitched the game. We celebrate these small steps in the Star Citizen community because we've been waiting for any signs of progress for so long. But in any other game, creating a single quest giver and not filling their entire game world with things to do and reasons to do them after such a long time in development is crazy. Like, no other game studio would be able to get away with this. It's been over a decade. In my opinion, Star Citizen needs more. It needs base building. It needs more mission givers. It needs working VoIP. It needs crafting. It needs professions. It needs to give people a reason to be in the verse. It needs to give players' actions value and weight. And above all, it needs stability. And it needs to continue to become more stable, which it has been. I mean, it's more playable right now than it's been in the entirety of the time that I've played the game. And it needs these things soon. If CIG can bring these systems to life, if the community is given the tools to build and maintain its own economy, then maybe all these years that we've spent dreaming about this game wouldn't be in vain. Honestly, at this point, it's almost embarrassing to say how much I care about this game, considering all the criticism and controversy that surrounds its development. But I do. I care, and I'm still here. Thank you guys so much for checking this video out. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I don't know how to break into the YouTube world. This is just a feigned attempt to do so, but it would be really cool if a lot of people liked this or saw this even. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time.